Gentlemen and assassins and ladies of the night, I call upon you this evening in the hope of shedding some light. I can't go into detail or finger hunt.
I'm Yul Brynner, and I'm dead now. What the fuck's this guy selling?
Hello, lovelies. Let's start with a few definitions, shall we? Just like every half-witted school kid trying to hit the word count in their assignment. Authenticity, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, which is of course the proper dictionary, is the quality of being genuine or true. Real, genuine, kosher, not fake, not plastic, not airbrushed or photoshopped if you were born in this century. Not algorithmically designed to maximize engagement and drive conversions in your funnel. Just real. Credibility is a cousin to authenticity. Oxford defines that as the quality of being trusted and believed in. And that word trust there is the important part, I think. Because you can fake being authentic. But credibility? You either have it or you don't, and to maintain it you have to be as nearly flawless in your public conduct as possible, and increasingly in your private conduct as well, because the line between public and private is all but erased. And once your credibility is gone, it's like your hymen. It can only be restored surgically for appearance's sake, and even then most people still suspect that it's already been compromised. And then there's selling out. That's not really in the dictionaries as a single neat definition, but we all know what it means, don't we? It's when someone trades their principles, their beliefs, their creative freedom for money, for fame, for a chance to do a jingle for orange drink. Orange drink. It's the punk band signing up to a major label, the edgy comedian doing a voice in a Pixar film, anyone, anywhere in any business, even gambling with a crypto sponsorship, even doing a voice in a DreamWorks film. It's the original sin of the creative class, or at least it kinda used to be.
Do I buy Country Life butter because it's British?
There was a time not that long ago when selling out was about the worst thing that you could accuse someone of. Back in my day, particularly amongst musicians and comedians, it was seen as an abject betrayal and it could destroy your career. You weren't supposed to do things for money, or at least not just for money. Art was supposed to be pure and unsullied by commercial concerns. Punk rock wasn't supposed to end up in a Levi's advert. Comedy wasn't supposed to be brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
There's a certain romance in that, but also a certain privilege. That attitude came from a time when you could, at least theoretically, scrape by doing just your art. When you didn't have to monetize your every waking moment, grind social media algorithms like a Victorian child risking their thumbs in a steam-powered loom, or take on 5 side hustles just to pay the rent and not even to eat. Today, in this late-stage capitalist hellscape we all trudge through, everyone is selling out to some degree. We're all commodities, we're all commodified, because we have to. It's no longer a sin, it's basic survival. We can't afford those scruples. The economy is on fire and has been for some time, basically since 2008, for anyone who wasn't already rich. Wages are stagnant and have been decoupled from productivity since the mid-70s. Rents are obscene and the social safety net is full of holes. You either shill or you starve. Even the anti-capitalist lefties, including myself, I would say, are peddling Patreon links, And by the way, subscribe to my Patreon, links below. So that old concept of selling out, it's dead. Not because we stopped caring about these things, but because the world stopped allowing us to care. We try to be understanding, and we hope people hold on to a scrap of integrity while they whore out their reputations to peddle VPNs. But that doesn't mean we stop judging. We just shifted the terms of the judgment, the parameters. Now, instead of calling people sellouts, we question their credibility. Are they genuine? Can they be trusted? Have they flagged up that what they're doing is commercialization in a sufficient way? Do they really believe what they're saying in the products that they're hawking? Or is it just engagement bait, marketing, AI-generated, algorithmically adjusted attention farming? It's worth talking about Bill Hicks, because that motherfucker is super relevant here. The late great angry saint of stand-up and integrity, though I tend to think these days he would have probably turned into a conspiracy theorist. There is actually a conspiracy theory that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, based on a vague passing resemblance, but it's almost believable. He had a famous bit about advertising and marketing, and it boils down to basically, if you're in marketing or advertising, kill yourself. But more importantly, he said, once you do a commercial, once you endorse a product, you're no longer credible. You've crossed the line, you can't be trusted anymore, you've sold out, you've shown you can be bought. And these days, we're all so fucking cheap, man, because we're desperate. And he had a whole bit about orange drink. Bill wasn't normally approached by advertisers, at least not in the States, but he was popular and beloved over here, and a certain company did approach him to advertise their orange cordial. He refused, even though they'd likely have let Bill be Bill. They let Rick Mail be himself after all. A comedian pretending to be the same edgy, insightful person they always were while hawking some sugar-laden piss water, that to Hicks was the betrayal. You can't serve two masters. You can't serve the truth and the market. So he turned down even that. But Bill still sold his albums, went on TV, charged people for tickets, used the system that he despised in order to get his message out. So was he a hypocrite? Maybe, I don't tend to think so, because in these cases he was selling himself as he was. He didn't compromise much, maybe a little on the TV appearances. Rather, he presented himself largely as take it or leave it. Maybe it's just complicated, and as I keep grinding away at, nuance is important, but we don't live in an age of nuance. And that brings us to authenticity. If credibility is about trust, then authenticity is about identity, which has been a bit of a theme for about a decade and a half now. Do you seem real? Not in a literal sense, but the vibe's right. In a world full of Instagram filters, AI voices, fake engagement, bot farms, brand partnerships, and deepfakes, what we seem to crave more than ever is something or someone who is authentic, who seems real. People seek it, but it also gets commodified and faked and taken away just as fast. We see these micro-celebrities rise through a moment of genuineness, like the Hawk Tour girl, and then fall just as fast as they get rapidly commodified. They lose what made them briefly internet famous in the first place, rather than building on it. Perhaps a more long-term example would be Etsy. It's a brand whose whole point was supposed to be that it sold crafted stuff made by real, authentic people. But the damn site is now flooded with the same shite you can get off Temu or Wish or eBay now, being resold at a markup. The brand expanded, but it lost its authenticity along the way, and now it's a bit of a job, even on the site, to find authentic crafters on a site that was intended to be for authentic crafters. There's a flip side to this as well. We want authenticity so long as it is palatable, marketable, digestible, so long as it comports with our existing biases. People say they want the real you until the real you is crying on camera or talking about burnout or saying something that they politically disagree with or not aligning with the brand. That's the ultimate sin now. The moment that authenticity, which is so powerful the rest of the time, becomes uncomfortable or unflattering or difficult, the moment it gets too real, the mob destroys them and moves on to the next person. And there's a problem there, particularly for artists and creators, because monstrous people make great art. The two things may even be related, being monstrous and having the capacity to create truly great art. And it's a low bar to be a monster these days. But 1 foot wrong in today's communication age and you're done, perhaps forever. Perhaps even if you didn't actually do anything wrong, it still might stick. So what we seem to want is curated authenticity, the illusion of realness, which is of course not real at all. It's a performance, a trick of the light, smoke and mirrors. And in that way, we've circled all the way back to marketing again. And marketing has caught on to authenticity. Modern advertising doesn't sell a product directly, it sells a feeling, a vibe, a story that you want to connect to, perhaps. A communication expressed by the products that you buy. And increasingly it sells authenticity. You see it in brands using influencers and micro-influencers instead of actors, doing lo-fi ads shot on phones. One thing I particularly hate on TikTok is what appears to be someone's story, which is often interesting and engaging and based on someone else's real story that has gotten some traction on the platform. And you flip through, and then suddenly in the middle of this touching story about how they met their significant other or whatever, there's somehow colostrum has been worked into the narrative somehow. Oh, I met this lovely guy in Denmark, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. We went here, we did that. One funny thing about Denmark is colostrum. It's jarring and aggravating and makes me feel stupid every time I get caught out. But brands are leaning into weird, broken and unpolished memes and getting into banter with each other and all that sort of thing. It's why this authenticity, that is why brands tweet like people. Why they pretend to be depressed or horny or politically aware or whatever else. They want you to believe that they're real, that they get it, that they're on your side, when what's actually there is a social media manager, probably several of them. So they're not real, they're not on your side, they're corporations. Inhuman, responsibility-shirking, eusocial hive minds that only care about profit and serving the anonymous shareholders. They are monsters, genuine monsters, irredeemable monsters, paperclip optimizers. They exist to extract value from you, and that's it. But they've put on this skin suit of authenticity, and it works too well. And now we're all under suspicion. Everyone is potentially marketing something, and probably is marketing something, even if it's just themselves, curating what they share on social media to create a carefully groomed image. Everyone is potentially marketing something. Every act of self-expression could be content or stealth advertising, or it could be genuine. Every post might be sponsored, every newspaper article might be a stealth advert, every tweet might be rage bait. With AI creeping in, now you can't even be sure if the voice you're hearing is a person at all, faking it or otherwise. Maybe it's just an algorithm trained on people who used to be authentic. And where does that leave us? Well, the old ideas and standards are dead, selling out is normal, credibility is conditional, and authenticity is a brand strategy. But maybe the answer is this. It's not trying to be authentic, it's being honest, and honest about when you're being inauthentic. Maybe consistent long-term honesty is what's next, until they find a way to marketize that. So maybe we can own the contradiction until then. Admit the compromise. Say, yeah, I'm promoting something, but I still believe in it, or I need the money. Yeah, I've got a Patreon, but I'm still broke ass. Yeah, I'm making content, but I'm also a person. Sometimes I have off days and go for the cheap shot or the low-hanging fruit or whatever. In a world where everything is fake, being honest about being fake might be the only real thing left. Zang. Howdy, I heard you like videos. If you're not already watching on YouTube, you should toddle on over to YouTube and you should subscribe to Post-Mortem Video, all one word, and you should click subscribe, and you should click the little bell, and you should select all when you click the little bell, and whatever other hoops that YouTube now has you jump through in order to actually be subscribed. Basically, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Truck with four-wheel drive smells like a steak and seats 35. Can you Nero? Can you Nero? Well, it goes real slow with the hammer down. It's the country fried truck endorsed by a clown. Can you Nero?